What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Credit Plug channel. So, for today's video, we have a very special guest. We have Justin Smith from Corpay, and he's going to be going over one of the latest business credit accounts, the Corpay One Mastercard. So, welcome to have you on our channel, Justin.
Thanks, Antoine. Yeah, really happy to be here. Thanks, everybody, for having me on the show and spending some time with us. Really excited to go through a really exciting product launch for us. Maybe as a quick intro on me, I work for FleetCor and Corpay. A little bit of background, I'm the head of strategy and sales at Corpay One, so happy to roll you through our latest and greatest product and not only tell you about it, but really show you on this video as well.
So before we dive into the demo, for those who might not be familiar with FleetCor, what's the connection between FleetCor and Corpay?
Yeah, really good question, Antoine. So a couple of things are really around the background of Corpay One and our mission will be how I answer this. FleetCor is an S&P 500 company, and we are in the business of helping other businesses make payments. So FleetCor is a B2B payments company. Most people know us through our fuel card brands, right? So if you've ever been a small business or a large business and need a fuel card, you've definitely run into one of our brands before there. We have hundreds of thousands of small business customers who use us through our fuel card brands. And so a little bit of backstory on Corpay One. I actually started in the fuel cards department at FleetCor. And one of the biggest questions we always got from our small business customers was, hey, this fuel card is an amazing way for me to allow my remote employees to purchase fuel for their vehicles. And it helps me build my credit. But the more that we had relationships with these small businesses, we always got the question of, hey, is there more stuff that FleetCor or my fuel card can offer me, like all of my expenses, right? Hey, what about more than just fuel? What about my accounts payable? All these things that I can't really put on a card, but they still have a lot of pain points around managing. Really, the last couple of years, FleetCor has been expanding our value prop and our product set to the small business customer in ways that we want to go beyond fuel cards. And so Corpay One is our answer for that. So really, Corpay One lives within FleetCor. We're all owned by the same S&P 500 company. You're doing business with an S&P 500 company. But really, our product here is, hey, this is our evolution from more than just a fuel card to a spend platform for your entire business. So this is our first time we've ever had a product that we can cleanly say, hey, I want to talk to you about all of the expenses that run through your business, and I might have some stuff that's interesting and valuable to you.
As you mentioned, this is more of like a comprehensive spend management type of platform. Tell us what we're looking at right here.
So you are looking at the Corpay One product. And I thought it might be helpful to go a little bit around, hey, what is this thing? Who's it for? What is it? What is it not? Who is this for? Who did we build this product for? The only hard criteria we have are right now we can only service U.S. businesses. Right, so I'm talking to U.S. businesses. If you're in Canada or Mexico, I'm sorry. Largely, we cannot service your needs just yet. But outside of that, there are no hard boundaries. The better question is, hey, where do we have a big advantage, or where do we find that we help customers the most? And it's in that small to medium-sized business range. So if you've got a handful of employees, 5 or more, 10, 20 bills a month that you pay through your business, we would love to talk to you, right? So we work with sole props. We work all the way up to kind of like large enterprises with hundreds of $1 million of revenue. But our sweet spot is really the small to medium-sized business who has more than a couple employees, 10, 20 bills a month. And we work with them on their card products and how they run their accounts payable. This is our Corpay One payments platform. So we wake up and try and stay focused on providing the best in-class accounts payable and business credit card solution on the market. What is it not is a healthy question to also ask. We don't do payroll. We don't help companies with their accounts receivable, and we don't do things like bank accounts. So there's a lot of fintechs in the space. So I think it's really clear to define us as, hey, we help you make payments. Right? We don't do payroll, accounts receivable, or bank accounts. Everything we do is focused on improving small businesses' cash flow, saving you material amounts of your time, and putting some money back in your pocket. And specifically, Antoine, for your audience, I want to go over how we can also help you build credit. But yeah, without further ado, let me go into the pitch and a little bit of the demo here, because really this is the first time, and I think one of the first products ever to elegantly bring two traditionally separate tools into one. And the two tools that I'm referencing are business credit cards. Hey, how do I get access to a line of credit, manage cards, give them to employees, set limits and things like that. And also, hey, how do I pay my business bills? Typically, those are two different tools that you've got to manage for the business, right? You pay your bills through your bank or some, maybe actually just like write checks, right? And then I go to my card platform to manage my card. So today we're super happy to have both of those tools in one. So let me go through particularly starting with the card. The application process we'll get to in a second, but let's just dive right into those who are approved for our line of credit. What can you do here? When you get a line of credit with us, there are no monthly fees, no user fees, and the best thing is, I would say we've got the best in class card management platform for small business. Now, what do I mean by that? That means, hey, the simple things like ordering cards and turning them on and off, that's table stakes to this game, in our opinion. So let's just go to, hey, Brigham. I ordered Brigham a card. It's got his name on it. I can turn it on and off whenever I want to. The kind of controls that we can place on cards are extremely innovative. Let's use this example. Antoine just hires me. Right? I'm a new employee for Credit Plug, and for some reason I need to spend some of Antoine's money, and he wants to give me a card. Great. Okay. Well, Justin, you can get a card. The question that we get into with customers is, hey, what are the limits on like the cards you're used to giving to employees? Hey, some of them don't have spend limits, but have you ever been able to place limits on how they can use that card, where it can be used, how many dollars per day that thing can be used for? So let's just say I'm a new employee, maybe he only wants me to use this for fuel. Hey, we've got fuel cards in here. We can turn a card into a fuel card. Maybe Antoine only wants me to use this at hotels or restaurants or something like that. With a click of a button, you can change where this card will be accepted. Same thing with spend limits. Hey, well, Justin, you're a new employee. Maybe I'll leave it open to all types of purchasing, but I'll only allow you to spend $100-$200 a day, or a couple $100 a week, or only on Mondays and Monday through Fridays during business hours. So the amount of controls that we can put on cards are really meant for business. And of course, here's the beautiful UI that we try and put around it, where it's not only a nice feature, but also easy to look at. That's the basic card pitch, where, hey, you get a credit line with us. Right now, all of our terms are monthly net 21, so you get up to 51 days to pay. Really, from a tracking standpoint, we've got some really cool reporting. I won't dive into that, but there's a lot more underneath the hood here that are interesting for small businesses. But I really wanted to hit the favorable terms and the controls that we put on cards is a really key differentiator.
I wanted to chime in really quick, just to follow up on a couple of things that you mentioned. Can you explain the 51 days? How does that actually work? Because you mentioned net 21, but then also 51 days to pay. How does that work?
Yeah, good question. It's very simple. We have monthly statement cycles, and then when the statement closes, you have 21 days to pay us.
Got it. So let's say if it's March 1st, that's the beginning of the statement cycle. In whatever purchase you make up into that, I guess, 30 days, at the end of the statement billing date, you have 21 days after that to pay the balance off in full. So essentially that gives you a total of 51 days, Lee, to repay whatever purchases that you made within that billing cycle.
100%. We love the ability to do that. By the way, right? There's a lot of utility where folks, their cash flow gets tight, particularly for small businesses. We hear it all the time. Where, hey, the money, I'd rather use my credit line than the money I might not have in the bank account. Right? I've got costs, that I got to spend today, and the revenue from jobs is coming in later. So I'd love to put this on my card and pay my card off when my revenue comes in from these particular jobs.
These are just questions I know a lot of our subscribers are going to ask. So in terms of qualifications, credit score, revenue, time in business, is there a particular minimum threshold in terms of qualifications on those different data points?
Great question, and I love the answer that we have, which is no. There are no hard minimum requirements. We do ask for a personal guarantee, and we do a hard pull. So by doing both of those things, it really allows us to get a full picture and underwrite to small businesses who might be right and new, right? Or hey, they're just starting out. So we love the ability to work with new businesses, right? As you're growing your revenue from zero. And so that's really our philosophy, which is, hey, we want to have a model where we can extend credit to those early stage businesses and grow from there. So we love not having minimums where other companies might have those. Hey, you got to be in business a couple years, have revenue above this, that, or the other, which we right now by design do not, and we're really happy with that.
Got it. So this is something that, let's say, a relatively newer business would be able to apply for. And so to follow up with that, and I know this is something that a lot of our subscribers also want to know is there a specific credit bureau that's being used to qualify?
So it's a really nice situation. So the commercial bureaus we report to build credit are Equifax, D&B, and Experian Commercial. Three really good ones to build your credit with. And then when we do the personal guarantee, it's through Experian Consumer.
Is there a particular FICO scoring model that's used, like a FICO 8, FICO 9, FICO 10? Do you have any insight into that?
I'd say right now our credit underwriting is always evolving. So there are no hard and fast rules. And we just launched this card a month and a half ago, I believe. And so we're constantly iterating what can we do to improve really our credit acceptance rates. And so we look at a lot of things, and what the credit team uses to make their determinations changes a lot. So I'd say it's an ever changing situation, Antoine. And
Fair enough. And then in terms of like the application process, what types of documentation can someone expect to submit in terms of like business information, their EIN, their, maybe even their bank statements? What types of documentation would someone expect to have to submit just in preparation of applying for the Corpay One Mastercard?
we've designed this to be a very seamless and for most folks, an instant decision on this process that only takes a few minutes. The path to applying would be one, use Antoine's link to apply to support his channel. And then you'll see we are more than just a card. And so you will sign up for Corpay One. We'll ask you a little bit about your business, but really from there, you're on the platform, right? And once you're in the platform, we'll talk about the business bill pay side of it later. But you'll see in many places across the product, there are apply now buttons. That will be the credit application for the Corpay Mastercard. So it's a two-stage thing. Hey, sign up for the platform and then apply for the card within it. And on the credit app, it's very basic information. We will need your EIN number, but everything else is really around, hey, tell me about the business, tell me about the personal guarantor, and you get an instant decision in a lot of cases right there. So it's like 4 or 5 really simple pages to fill out, and some of those are really, hey, after let's say you've been approved, how many cards do you need? What do they need to say? We do not ask for actual PDFs of bank statements or anything like that. In a few cases, we might ask you to connect a bank account through our online connection system. Other cases, we might need you to identify or verify your identity, but this is all seamless thing that you can do on your computer or your cell phone. Most of the times this takes 5-10 minutes. The only time I've seen it take longer is if somebody's forgotten their EIN and they got to go find it.
And is there a minimum and maximum credit limit?
Another great question. So the answer is no. I will say I haven't seen too many lines below like 1,000, 2,000. Like beneath that, sometimes it's actually a hard line to feel like it's useful. But there are no maximum credit limits. If I will say, like, if folks are coming to us looking for a really heavyweight credit limit, we might have to. There might be alternate paths that we take. But otherwise, no. It's really simple. No minimums, no maximums. And a lot of times you can get an approved credit limit right there on the screen. But for bill pay, we have a platform for small businesses to get all of their invoices and payables into one place to manage seamlessly. I don't know about anybody in the audience, but I've never been able to pay my mortgage or my rent with a credit card. But there are some times where my cash flow has been tight enough where it would have been nice, right? So hey, there are big expenses sometimes that I can't use my credit line for. And we've really tried to solve that problem and have solved it here. So within Corpay One, you can use a credit card to pay almost any bill, including things like rent. And what happens is you swipe your card with Corpay One, and we send your vendor a check or an ACH. All right, you effectively use your card to send checks and send bank transfers to your vendors who don't accept card. Think about that. Hey, I can unlock the cash flow of not having to pay rent with the money in my bank account. Sometimes stuff gets tight. There is a fee for that, right? So when we accept cards, there are fees for accepting that. So we have to kind of pass that along. But I'd say it's a small fee. It's 2.9% of the invoice amount. You swipe that with us, and we send your vendor that check or an ACH, right? And what that's doing is effectively preventing you, the small business who needs that function, from going to the bank to getting like a loan or kind of like a term, like a line of credit or something, because those are time intensive and painful. If anybody's gone through those, going to a bank, all that paperwork. So when you need it, we have this service where, hey, just for 2.9% for this one thing, you can spend that with us, and we send your vendors checks and ACH.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good service. And I mean that's comparable to, some of the other ones you might see out there like a Plastique or Melio payments. Basically, you'll get billed on that card and then you'll send an ACH or a check. So you can actually use the Corpay Mastercard to pay your bills where the vendor doesn't actually accept the credit card.
Yeah, the answer is you can use your Corpay Mastercard. Absolutely, we love that, and you can bring your own card to do that, sir. Any executive in Amex in the audience, let's keep chatting. But right now, it's a Visa and Mastercard situation only, and we're working with Amex to see if we can get that network use case unlocked. Right, and I guess in the Corpay Mastercard sense of that use case, right, the 2.9% fee gets netted against the 1.5% cash back. I don't think I've mentioned that yet.
Right.
Hey, if you use our card and pay bills on the platform, it's 1.5% cash back on your card. So it's if you only want to see us as a card platform, it's 1% cash back. But hey, the power of being better together, hey, we'll give you 1.5% cash back on your card if you use us for both the card and the bill pay service.
Wow. So that's effectively then like 1.4% when you think about 2.9 you minus the 1.5. So to pay your bill, if you're using your Corpay Mastercard to pay your bills, then it's only really going to cost you a 1.4% for vendors that don't accept credit cards. I think there's a lot of utility with the entire platform, and I appreciate you sharing all of this great insight information. Any parting words before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I mean, one, thanks for spending the time listening to me go over the product. We're really excited, and I can't tell you how much value we're trying to bring to small business by bringing accounts payable and bill pay and the leading kind of controlled card product under one roof. We've got a roadmap that extends well through the years to keep adding more and more cool features to this. But really, otherwise, the only last thing is really pricing, Antoine. So, I love this conversation because we do not have monthly fees, no user fees, no card fees. And there's no real contracts. Like we don't have to talk about, hey, use it. We have to like sign contracts to get started. Just use Antoine's link and you'll quickly see sign up to get started, start now free. You fill that in and you're in, right? You can apply for the card from there. And we have actual humans that will reach out to you once you sign up and help facilitate really whatever you're trying to solve. If we can help you with your credit needs, with your bill pay needs, or both, and make them better together, you have real human consultants that'll reach out to you and help support you getting onboarded and having a really fast time to getting value. But otherwise, we love the product. We'll probably do a couple more, Antoine. Maybe we go into a few more use cases. But otherwise, please check us out. We're excited for you signing up and hopefully helping you and your business go back to those three things. I want to help you improve your cash flow, save you material amounts of time, put real money back in your pocket, and really, help you build some credit too.
So if anyone's interested, I've dropped a link in the description of the video as well as pinned in the comment section. Again, Justin, definitely appreciate you coming on and sharing this information. And I think this will be of great value to a lot of our subscribers. So again, thank you very much for coming on. And until next time, take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon.